Hi, my name is Chudi. I'm a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. I help people maximize success investing in real estate and help people take advantage of the opportunities that are inherent within the real estate market. A lot of people want to invest in real estate. A lot of people want to take advantage of the opportunities within the real estate market. But most of the time, they are not equipped enough to be able to do that. It is either lack of funds or lack of knowledge or not sufficient or insufficient knowledge for them to be able to invest in real estate. A lot of people want to partake in the real estate economy, but one of the things that is probably holding them down and the belief system is that you need to have deep pocket for you to invest in real estate. Now, what I'm here to tell you today is that it is not just about having deep money, having big money to invest in real estate, but having a strategy in mind and adopting the right strategy in in your bid to own a proper investment portfolio. Now, there are many people who are stranded and who want to build their own personal economy, but they cannot build their own personal economy because they have the belief system that it requires to have deep pockets for them to be able to invest in real estate. Now, what I've come here to tell you that you do not need to have deep pocket, you do not need to have a warehouse filled with money for you to actually invest in real estate. What you need is to have a basic understanding and participate in what I call the underground real estate economy. The underground real estate economy is the backdoor approach to owning and investing in real estate. And that is what I have just about to share with you. I'll be back with you shortly when I'll be discussing all of that. Thank you. Stay with your friend. All right, we're back. We're talking about how to invest in real estate with little money. A lot of people have always thought that you need to have a warehouse filled with money for you to take advantage of the real estate economy. I was just talking about briefly about the underground real estate economy, how you can partake within that particular space. What is even the underground real estate economy? Now, the underground real estate economy is what I call the economy where a lot of people do not know that there is money, but actually there is money. They don't really are not seeing the money inside. It is underneath. It is covered. It is not in the public view. It is not on Google. You cannot search them. You cannot get good deals on the internet. It is not usually announced to the public. But that is what most of the rich or some of the people or some people use to get rich. Now, it is not, I always say this to people, real estate is not for the rich. Real estate is for you to be rich. Now, if it is for you to be rich, that means you do not actually need to have deep pockets or to have the rich for you to participate in real estate. It is for you to be rich. It is for you to be able to build your wealth. It is an opportunity. But you know what? You need to be able to focus on the opportunity and be able to search within and ask yourself, what is even the underground real estate economy? Now, for you to actually participate in what I call the underground real estate economy, you have to think like this individual, like a hacker. A hacker. Wow. Some of you may probably think that, assume that a property hacker, a hacker is somebody who is an illegal work. But in the real estate market, in the real estate economy, it is not an illegal work. A hacker, you know, in maybe in the technological space or probably in maybe computer stage system and all of that, a hacker is somebody that you refer to as somebody who has an unauthorized access to data, to certain information, to sensitive information. He has unauthorized information. Now, in the real estate system, you have a system whereby somebody who is a property hacker is assumed to have is unauthorized but is earning rental income. He's probably not the owner of a property. He's not the one who bought a property, developed it, put structure on the building. His name is not on the document of the property. But guess what? He earns rental income from that property. Who is that person? That person is what we call a property hacker. It's what I call a property hacker. A hacker is somebody who is not the owner. A property hacker is somebody who is not the owner of a property. But what he does is that he earns rental income from the property. You begin to wonder, how does he do it? How is it possible? how is this thing achievable? It is not probably possible for you to own, for you to earn rent on a property that you do not own. And that is what they call, that is what we call the underground real estate economy. An economy that is not calculable, an economy that you do not see the advert on the newspaper, but a lot of people are using it to build wealth for themselves. Now let me explain to you. In many after many years of buying properties, after years of owning property, some property owners buy properties when they are in their youthful age. Let's say maybe at the age of 30, or probably maybe in their early 20s. They bought some properties in then they are emerging economy. Let's just imagine that somebody bought property in Surulere 35 years ago or 40 years ago. Now he was in his active years of life where he was working and all of that. But all of this, maybe after those period, rather the long years of service in his work, he now has decided he has retired, he's now aging, and now the population has grown. Probably maybe what he built was many years ago was a face apartment. What he now has is that he now has a now people are not going for face apartment again. What they're now looking for is that they're looking for self-contained 2 bedroom apartment, 3 bedroom apartment. Now this man is old. He's not doesn't have a what he's earning from the property is not so much. But what he has now realized that even the tenant that are on face apartment before they pay rent, it is wahala. So he doesn't want this kind of tenant. He wants to be able to make some money. Now his children, he realize that his children are also going to fight over the property because this is just what he has. Now for him to really take advantage, he needs some money to come in for him to renovate his building. But guess what? He doesn't have active income because is it the money that he's collecting from rent that he's using to feed himself that he's going to use to put the house in order? The house is looking dilapidated after so many years because the man cannot afford to take some part of the rent and use in creating, in maybe restoring the property. Now what he now does, what somebody who is a hacker, a property hacker, now does is so and he sees an opportunity, he sees a dilapidated building, he sees a dilapidated structure, and he goes and approaches Mr. Landlord and says, you know what, I'm going to help you to renovate your building. We're going to convert it from a two-bed, from a face you to a self-contained. Now probably your income, maybe what he has, maybe from the face you apartment, he has about maybe let's say maybe about 40 tenants, and those 40 tenants pay him maybe every month 10,000 naira on a monthly basis. And that is going to be about 400,000 naira every month. So in 1 year, he will have made 4.8 million naira as a landlord. Fine, no hala. Now there is a situation now where probably that same now you're able to convert into a self-contained, and so a self-contained where the now has is now able to get from 40 is now able to get about maybe let's say 15 tenants, and those 15 tenants now paying maybe about 50,000 naira on a monthly basis. So let us just imagine that okay, 50 multiplied by 50,000 naira multiplied by 15 will give us 75,000 naira every month. In 1 year, you will have been able to attract about I think much more than we will be able to attract about 10 million naira or so. We will be able to attract about 9 million naira from the property. Now here is 4.5 million naira and here is 9 million naira. Now the landlord sees it and is excited. It's just only to renovate this building and we are going to get this amount. Now this hacker is now coming and saying, you know what, the landlord, I will give you 6 million naira, then I will collect 3 million naira. Is that a deal? And we are going to do this deal for the next 20 years. The landlord looks at it and says, you know what, after all, his building is still okay, he has the still, he's the owner of this particular building. This person is just only coming to renovate the building with him for him and all of that. And after all, there's nothing bad in having an extra 1.2 million. So he goes into and they sign a deal, they sign a contract, a memorandum of understanding between the two of them. What that person who has come in to invest in that renovation has done is that he has used he has come in as a property hacker to Why not to use leverage of others? Now let us imagine that what they actually use to renovate this building, this particular building, is about 2 million naira. Guess what this property hacker will have done? In less than 1 year or two, in less than 1 year or two, he will have been able to make this money back. And guess what? For the next 10 to 15 years, he will be collecting a minimum of 3 million naira. That is if the rent does not go up. Now that is what simply a property hacker does. Now it does not take time to be rich in real estate. It actually takes strategy. What strategy do you want to adopt? Do you want to be the owner of a property, or do you want to just invest with leverage? I always advise anybody do this. If you do not have sufficient income, what you just need to do is to operate as a hacker. There are many opportunities around town, especially when you go to the Lagos mainland, where you see a lot of opportunities, people wanting to take advantage of opportunities and missing out on good opportunities. Why? Because Nigeria is a regulation, the numbers work in your favor. And that is what real estate is all about. Real estate is not about structure. Real estate is not about structure. Real estate is not about blocks, bricks. It's not about the wall. It's not about the fence. Real estate is about people. People. It's just like agriculture. Agriculture is not about rice, beans, dodo, inyo, yam, and all of that. Food, agriculture is about people. It's about feeding people. Now, when you take out the people equation out of real estate is valueless. Now, a property's worth is predicated on the worth people are ready to place on it. The worth people are ready to place on it. And it's also about the usability. A property that people do not use will not enjoy rent, no matter how much it is worth on paper. If it is worth on paper and people are not paying value for the property, then it is not in good use. Then it's just only worth less. It is worth something on paper, but it is worth less in terms of cash flow. Now you need to be able to think in terms of people. So what you need to focus on, what is the people? How am I using the numbers in my favor? How am I thinking of the numbers in my favor? One of the things is that you need to consider is that you need to always do what I call the cash flow mathematics when you are investing in real estate. Let's think about this. The value people are ready to place. What is the value? What is the lifestyle people will want? Then for how much are they going to do it? That is, plus how much they are going to do it for, and how much they are ready to pay for its service, how much they are ready to pay for rent. Number two is that how many people will like to own or like to pay you rent. So you look at numbers. Let numbers work in your favor. Let numbers work in your favor. So real estate is about people. It's about population. It's about numbers of people. It's about demand. If there is no demand for real estate, then people cannot build wealth from real estate. So real estate is a cash flow based business, or it's a cash flow based opportunity because of the people, because of the demand. People are ready to demand for you. It is so exciting for a real estate investor when you have a structure and you're about to complete that structure, and you now have people paying for the property in terms of rent when the property is not even yet finished. I don't know if you have ever seen such. A lot of that happen on the Lagos mainland, where you have, as people are building a structure, one of the things that you can find out to do is that people now, before the structure is even completed, maybe before even the roof is placed on the property, guess what? People have started paying rent on that property. That is one of the things that makes real estate exciting. So before you even say, before you close your eyes and you wake up, you have already made your money. And that is one of the things that is lovely about real estate. So real estate is people dependent. Real estate is people dependent. Number two thing is that real estate is also very indestructible. Why? Because there is nothing that can destroy it. There's no app, there's no technology that can take real estate away. As long as people are in existence, then real estate is indestructible. The building may be destroyed, but the need for real estate will never be destroyed. The goal for real estate, the need to cover your head, the necessity that real estate is just like food. There's nothing we always require food in our stomach, just like we always require real estate for us to be able to live. And that is one of the things that makes real estate exciting because it is a necessity. It is what people want on a daily basis. Where do you sleep? You sleep real estate. When you wake up under real estate. When you step out, the road you are stepping on is what is called real estate. Even the farmland, the farm land itself is real estate. So you need real estate. Real estate affects all of our lives. The place, even the apps, the Uber and the likes, they tread on is what real estate. Now, for you to be able to understand this, you must understand that real estate is has capacity, has has so much capacity to be able to help you build what we call indestructible wealth. Number three is that real estate is also very tangible. Apart from the other features that we have seen, I've talked about maybe physicality. Physicality is physical too. You see it. You see it when people are using a property. You see it when the property is being used. When the property is not in use, you see it. You can see it. You can touch it. You can tell easily that a market is not going well. Maybe because of the people that are not using it. You can tell easily when the kitchen is bad and people are running out of that house. They don't want that property, or maybe the flood coming into that property. You know that this property is not a good one. It's not a good one. Something is off about this property. So what you now do is that you can now reposition yourself in engaging property. So real estate is what is about people. Real estate is indestructible. Real estate is tangible. And guess what? Real estate income is consistent. When you look at the number of people paying, rent is consistent. Rent will never go away. Rent will never go out of fashion. People will always pay rent for them to own or to live in real estate. And that is where you will need to be able to position yourself and understand the mathematics of real estate. So those are the characteristics, the four characteristics of real estate. One, real estate is about people. Real estate is about consistent income. Then real estate is about, because real estate is about cash flow. Real estate has indestructible capacity. Then real estate also has a predictable income. Real estate has predictable income capacity. Real estate is about people. Real estate is indestructible, and real estate is tangible. So those are the four characteristics of real estate. For you to really maximize success and for you to really explore opportunities within the real estate market, you must understand how this works. Real estate is for you. Real estate is not just for some group of persons. Real estate is for you to take opportunity out of. And remember, I always say this: real estate is not for the rich. Real estate is for you to be rich. Why it is important for you to use that mathematics to solve your cash flow problems. What do I mean? We are 180 million people. Now, our challenge as a nation is not land deficit. Our challenge as a nation is housing deficit. If you understand the math, one of the major things you first of all invest in is to invest in rental cash flow, is to take advantage of the rental opportunity. Why? Because not everybody who has a land, who has a plot of land, can actually own a house. That is just the truth. However, you need to be able to understand the mathematics. That if you do this, just imagine that Mr. Hacker is able to do this for maybe like 7 portfolio within one year, and is making 1 million naira every year on just people making about 7 million naira from a property that is not his own. And just imagine that he's making 3 million naira, and the next year he starts making 3 million naira on that property. That will also mean that every year he's making about 21 million naira from a property that is not his personal property. That is the job, that is the role of a hacker. That is what a hacker simply does. And you say, oh, are there people doing this right now? There are a lot of people doing it. There are some of them, they call them developers. They are not actually developers because they are simply hackers. They take advantage of the problems of many landlords. Do you know why? Because many Lagos landlords are very, very poor. Many landlords who have properties probably do them bought properties in their old age. They do not have sufficient income to be able to maintain their building structure. And so what they now do is that when they see someone who is ready to help them to renovate their property, they engage that individual. And that is simply what a property hacker does. So who is a property hacker? You need to be able to take advantage of this space. And that is one of the things that I have been investing in the last 2 years doing right now, because it is a massive opportunity. It has presented us to be able to do deals that we probably maybe will have failed doing in certain areas. Why? Because this is an this is an area that people are not looking at. A lot of people just want to own their own property, but I say this: you need to be able to think of income. Income always follows asset. Now you don't necessarily have to be the owner of the asset, but what you want to do is that you are an investor in the real estate game. Now there are two types of property. There are three types of property investor. There is the hacker, there is the trader, the person who just buys property and he sells the property. He buys the property today, he sells the property tomorrow, or probably he sells property for commission. Then that is not the space you need to operate from. You need to operate from the investment angle because it is the investment that pays you over time. And you need cash flow in your life on a regular basis. And that is one of the things that you desire that you will need to be doing on a daily basis. Rich and free, God bless you.